one thing I'd say is listening to Coach Diesel Stockton and both these coaches, there are no easy nights in the GAC. You've got 22 conference games, and there are no easy nights. There's no given that you're going to win at home, and going on the road for those 11 road contests is not an easy thing. You know, with the tying with the old OIC, every one of those opponents is there, or tying with the SAC, SNU and Oklahoma Baptist coming in through there, and then obviously the 6 Arkansas schools. So it is a very, very tough league from top to bottom in both the men's and the women's side. So it's night in, night out. You know, we don't have an easy opponent. Both teams start off on the road, and it will be tough. I do want to have 3 people stand and be recognized. 2 of them are maybe a familiar name or face, but I haven't. Tim Lauderdale is our new Associate Director of Athletics. Tim, would you stand up? Tim was in HR, and you know from a Ranger that Tim is here with Andrea. I like that. Sadia Jones is our new Senior Women's Administrator, Director of Compliance, Associate Director of Compliance and Student Services. She comes to us from Seminole State, and also Jay Lee, our Associate Director of Athletic Communications. Doing an awful lot of work for us. Thank you very much. Shawn Dirden comes to us from the University of North Dakota, where he's been the assistant for the last 2 years. Shawn has been assistant at NCAA Division I's Montana State and University of North Dakota, where he developed a very good reputation as a coach and a recruiter. Coach Durden was also the head coach at Denver High School's George Washington and Cherokee Trail High School, which are major players in the metro area of Denver. Shawn has been a very successful national AAU coach. Was decorated as a college player playing at Otero Junior College in the University of Idaho. Shawn played professionally, including tryouts with the NBA Phoenix Suns. He was in the CBA, the USBL. He was overseas in Venezuela, Lebanon, China, Sweden, and Korea, and Holland. So he's seen a lot of the world. Shawn knows the game inside and out, and as I say, has that capability that is so important today, relating to people. We're very happy to have his wife here today, Sierra, and his family. With that, Coach Shawn Dirden.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tasha said everything I wanted to say. Just remember that. But excited to be here today, and want to make sure I want to thank Dr. Cunningham for this opportunity and my visit with her on my interview. I want to thank our athletic director, Brad Franz, again for the opportunity to be the head coach here and lead this program. Faculty, staff, my family, and really the community, day one, has welcomed me, and then as my family arrived, has welcomed my family. So I really want to say thank you to you all, and make sure you know that I really appreciate all the love that you've shown, again, me and my family with this opportunity. I want to, again, thank everyone in the community that I've met. You've all made this move for me and my family really easy. We really feel at home in our new home. And I've met every neighbor almost, which I didn't even know what I was getting into, but it's been amazing. I've had tea and coffee cake that came in the mail, but it was amazing. And then we got my one neighbor to my right, Dan. He gave my son a bird's nest, and he's helped giving me tools because I didn't have a house before, and I'd gotten rid of my old tools. So he's been very resourceful. But it's really just everyone in the community. Whether I've gone to the grocery store, been down at the lumber, everyone has stopped to say thank you, welcome. You know, can I help you? It's been overwhelming, and again, I really, really appreciate it. You know, Terry and just different people at the bank and whatnot have really, again, opened themselves up to us and welcomed us. On my staff, I have 2 top assistants and some great managers, but here today at the luncheon, we have Jason Henson, who came from Tonkawa. Really successful, really brilliant, big time life experiences, and I couldn't have done a better job myself than what Brad did in adding him in that. when you're finding guys that relate to the guys that understand the game, but the bigger picture of life. And Jason has been phenomenal. I've told him and the team several times that what he's done with them is better than what I'm doing, and I'm jealous. So now I'm up late all night working, trying to outdo him. Also, I have Jordan Franz in his second year. Obviously, Jordan played in the league. He's from the community. He's been an amazing resource to me as I get to know both Alva, as I've gotten and learned to get to know our players, and then looking forward at the league and what to expect. So, not many people, but him and Jason are similar in that just the energy, his love for the game, his love for helping people is really special, and it's big time and it's constant. And so I'm really excited about working with these two guys. A lot like them, the team, I inherited all of that. And when I really take a step back and look at the situation, you just couldn't ask for more. And so I'm just very thankful for that. And before I move on, I want to take a minute and introduce my wife. I know Brad mentioned she's here, but Sierra, stand up. There's no perfect order, but she gets all the praise for us being here. The opportunity was presented. You go through the process, but she was the main decision maker, and she's been with me for a really long time. But every step, and I've asked a lot of her, but again, the people in the community, you guys have all helped make this transition really easy for all of us. So again, we're thankful. We have 2 kids, 10 and 6, and they're getting 10 and 7. She just turned 7. Sorry, but they're also having a great time. So I want to jump into my philosophy. I'm not like big in long speeches and talking and telling stories. That's not what I do. I don't really tend to run the guys very much, and I don't kick basketballs. Just saying. And I don't scream, as you can tell from my voice. So, but as many of you know, I once played for Brad, and I'm gonna try not. I'm kind of going from this, but I don't want to get too off. When the job came open, I had a former Ranger call me. Chuck Love played here, and he's a good friend of mine. We met at the University of South Dakota, his family, my family. Then I departed back to Montana State. Well, Chuck knew I wanted to be a head coach, and I'd been pursuing it. He called me a Wednesday night, and I thought he was maybe going to offer me some new Adidas gear since he just got on at Nebraska, but that wasn't it. And he said, "Hey, I don't know when's the last time you talked to Brad, but I think there's some things moving at my alumni, and I know you want to be a head coach. It's a great place. You need to give him a call." And the first thought I had, I told my wife. Well, actually, I didn't tell him until after I called him. But so I called Brad, and the first thought that went through my head is, this isn't personal, this is professional. I've been doing all this stuff for 8 years, so on and so forth. It's time. And then I talked to him, and I got off the phone, and I felt a little empty inside, and I said, hell no, this is personal. He's got to hire me, because the first thing he told me and what he expected and what he was looking for was somebody that was going to relate to the kids, someone that was going to care about the kids, care about academics, care about the community, and care about doing things right. And again, what made it personal to me, because that is all the things I care about, that my commitment to him and the community and these players is easy. It's like breathing, and that no one was going to give the same message that they had been receiving the year before, and the many players before when he was just as a faculty member and not on the staff, of doing the right thing, encouraging them to be successful in everything they do and do things right. And so I felt almost like it was destiny, and it was the right time. And so that was the approach that I took, and I'm just, again, thankful that it worked out. So as many of you know, again, I played for Brad, and though I'm very demanding, I spent my entire playing and coaching career constantly reflecting on what it was like when I played for him. You look for those pivotal moments in your life as a person, as a young man coming up, and you try and decide, hey, you kind of go one way or the other. In my experience playing for Brad, not just the winning, it has been one of the more powerful experiences in my life, and it's helped shape me in the fact that he was fair. He was extremely challenging. There was nothing easy. And then he expected us to work as hard as he worked, and it almost seemed like we could never keep up. And so a lot of who I am, a lot of what I was able to accomplish post-college, the roots and the seeds were set and started to grow when I was 17, 18 years old when I met this man 25 years ago. And so I've been forever thankful. My first coaching jobs, the first words I ever uttered, and I uttered it to these guys here, is I want to win. I want to win. But I want to win at life. I want to win every day in the classroom. I want to win every day in the community. I want to win by serving other people. And my philosophy is that when you're winning and you're successful in those areas, it reflects on the scoreboard. It reflects in your locker room, and I don't really want it any other way. And so the demands that are placed on these young men that started a year ago, and I'm sure was here before that, Brad knows and Dr. Cunningham knows it's just going to continue. It's paramount. It's so important that they're the best people that they can be first. And so I'm here. Again, my philosophy in general is just to serve others. And that, again, starts with the classroom, starts with the players, the faculty, the staff that I work with. Our guys have been able to get out, and I think it's very important that when they leave Alva or when they leave this experience here, that they lived it here, that they just weren't here. And so we have 5 core values that I share with them day one. And one of them is appreciation. I want them to be thankful for the opportunity they have to be in college, to get an education, and to be part of a team. And then part of showing appreciation is community service. And we're going to do as much as we can, but we've been out to the schools and done reading in the morning. We've gone out our way to try and help some people move or to help set up things on campus, but there really isn't too much that can be asked of us, given what we get back, that sometimes isn't always so visible to them. And so the second thing is enthusiasm. And the way we have it, they all have this card in their locker. And it's like Monday, Tuesday. We try to live this every day as our core values. The second one is enthusiasm. Play with enthusiasm, live with enthusiasm, and serve with enthusiasm. The third thing is competitiveness. Again, this is a sport, and I try and show them every day, whether it be through my work effort and the coaches, through our work efforts every day, that we are competitive. I'll fight anyone. And I want them to have that same feeling when it comes to competing. The fourth thing is accountability. We're teaching these guys to be responsible. But again, it may be checking on homework, it may be a variety of other things, but it also extends to the classroom. Be accountable, show up on time, be respectful, be prepared, etc. And then the fifth thing is teammanship. And teammanship is fifth, but it's probably the next biggest thing that I've challenged these guys with day one that's important to me, and I knew it would be important to them, and it's trust. I asked them day one to trust me, and that's not an easy thing to do. Whenever there's change, it's tricky. You got some great players, some guys returning. There's a new coach. There's been some movement, and all of a sudden they got to start to develop a newer relationship or figure out how they feel about someone, and vice versa, before they're willing to maybe go to the end of the road for you. And so we really focus on trust as the foundation of our program. And the quick story I shared with them then when I was explaining this trust is, there were these gazelles. You guys remember there were these gazelles, and there's 4 of them, and they're out there in the pasture, and they're grazing, and they're kind of tight where there's this lion in the bush, and he's kind of roaming out there. He's hungry, and he's looking at them, and as soon as they see some ruffling in the grass, they all kind of put their butts together, and they got their horns up in their eyes, and they're roaming, and they're looking out, and they see him, and the lion can't sneak up on him, and he can't attack one without the other 3 jumping on him and them being able to defend themselves. And that's trust. And that's a circle of safety, which is another term I've used with them as I try to describe our team and what we want to be and what we want to create. Well, those same gazelles, they get a little greedy. and they start kind of roaming off to this corner and this corner, you know, and spreading out a little bit, and the line takes them down one by one. And so what I've asked these guys through trust is our circle of safety, our locker room, your involvement on this team is the most important thing. If you have to feel safe, and I extend that to the community. You have to feel safe in the community in which that you're working for and you're working to uplift. And so those have been things that we started our season off. Those are the things that are important to me, that are important to our staff, that we're making sure they know when they hear should be important to them in their lives. I'll hurry. Sorry. Pierceville Fieldhouse, you know, in the pit. I saw videos when I was trying to scout, and I see a fan running up and down, and he's yelling at the refs, he's yelling at the play. It's wild. And when I started pursuing this, I had some buddies of mine that are in the league, some colleagues, and they said, Shawn, it's the hardest place to play. It's the hardest place to play. No one wants to go there. And it was before the gym or anything. He said, the fans are crazy. They're going to be on you. They're going to be on the other team. They're going to be on the. They really. He said it's a phenomenal environment, but they hate it. And now though, even though we have a facelift and a new interior of the arena, you know, I want to make sure that I either preach it to those guys, that we share with these guys, that the same sweat, nothing's changed. The same mayhem that teams feel and the same fear they have when they come in the arena, though we have this facelift, is only going to be amplified because we're going to have even more people in there excited, you know, with their new home or their new design in their living room. And so we really want to encourage you to come out and continue to be the devoted fans and that you have been over all the years. And with that, and I had a chance to see him the other night. You know, a big part of my growing affection and understanding and appreciation for Alva and Ranger Athletics really, again, stems a lot from Brad, because I've only known him to be in two places. He's either been in La Junta, where he brought me to, or he's been here. And so, you know, when there's someone you care about and you know how much he cares about a place, it's real easy to dive right in. And so I also, you know, and with that, I said, well, man, shoot, Bob Batiste, he was here for 25 years. I've had some people mention him to me, and there's a love and an affection there. And for me, it's just respect, you know. And Bob had a chance to meet my son the other night, and then I said, hey, Damien, this guy right here, he's the man back in Alva like that. And Bob, very humbly, he's like, well, now you're talking to the new man. And I winked at him and was like, you're right, because we're going to beat your butt. So, but it was a good interaction. The GAC is challenging. I really lean on my players, the returners, to, you know, and for them to also share with the transfers and the new guys we have of what's coming. I can honestly say 8 years Division I coaching and AAU and all that, it still doesn't prepare you for new opportunities necessarily. You know, guys that have been through the wars, and so my job is preparing them and us preparing them to get out there and do battle. But they've provided a ton of insight, and so this afternoon here, I have the three seniors, and first we have DeAndre Martin, who was a transfer from Columbus, Ohio. He's the leading returning three-point percentage shooter, number one in the GAC returning this year. You know, and I know he battled through some injuries, and you probably got to see him some healthy, not some healthy, but still out there a year ago. Well, he's healthy now. He's had a great preseason, working himself into playing mode and trying to pick up where he left off at. But he's been phenomenal. We have senior Austin Klug. I can't tell you how many phone calls I get every time July hits in the summer and the spring. Everybody's looking for a big. And when I took this job and was given the opportunity, and Brad was breaking down the roster, he's like, I got this 6'9" kid, he can play. And then I started watching film, and you saw the evolution from the beginning of the season through the season where he earned a starting spot, and you could easily see why. Since I've been here, again, he's helped make this transition easy, because whether they always want to be, he's a natural leader. He's brought it every day. He's competed every day. And now he's really smart, and he has a very smart sense of humor. But I just blame that on being from California. But he's been phenomenal. And then we have senior Adrian Motley. Again, most of you guys know Adrian. You've watched him play. He's grown up here. You know, we have both Austin and DeAndre are transfers, so they're in their second year. But Adrian, after a redshirt year he's now going to be playing his fourth year here. He was part of a championship team that inaugural year. He got to see it, and when I asked him what he wanted, he said, "I want that." He said, "I saw it, I sat back, I watched it, I saw how they got there, however it was, but he says, that's what I want to leave here with." He didn't say, "Hey, I want to lead the league in scoring," or, "Hey, I want to do this." No individual stuff. He says, "I want a championship, a team championship." And since then, his effort, I know he had a phenomenal summer working out, but his effort in leadership on the floor, an example that he set every day in practice, again, has been what you look for from a senior and an all-league player. So aside from those three seniors, we have Brandon Green, who was a newcomer of the year and started back-to-back years at the PG spot. So he brings experience. You have Zach Dumas, who was a part-time starter and is in his third school year here. Again, brings a ton of experience. You mix in there some great transfers that Brad and his staff were able to sign, and some really good Oklahoma kids. You have a deep, talented, and growing in their commitment basketball team that you'll be able to come out and support. And I mentioned it before, and then I have some questions. I think what I've learned about the league is it's regardless of rankings, it's going to be a very deep league. It's going to be a very competitive league. I think teams can win at home or away. Our job will be to protect home and then to be able to go on the road, show some toughness, and steal games out there. But without promising, "Oh, we're going to do this and do that," just know that when you come out to watch us play, you're going to watch a team that fully competes. I am the philosophy of our program. We're going to press for 40 minutes, and we call it. I was explaining to my coach. I call it this disruptive, organized chaos. We're going to be disruptive. We want guys thinking. We don't want them to be comfortable. Somebody's in their face. It's organized because we know what we're doing when we change and when we switch up defenses or we do different things to control tempo. And it's chaotic because, again, it's going to be relentless. Pressing for me doesn't mean, and when you come watch us play, we're not just running all over the gym and just kind of seeing what happens. Again, being organized, being efficient is very important to the style of play. Very important to the style of play, but on the flip side, playing up tempo, being able to get out. We have good athletes. We have guys that can shoot the ball. We also want to make sure it's a fun style of play for both the kids and the fans. So, again, last thing is, again, my sole purpose in leading the Ranger program is to win, but winning the lives of young people, winning in the classroom, and winning in the community and in life. You guys have any questions? All of that wasn't on the paper either.
Got some questions, please.
Yes, sir.
Coach, you circled the Southwestern game. We do not like them.
That's right. That's why when I met Bob and I saw him out, we were both recruiting a little bit. I was standing on I was doing anything just to be even more intimidating because I know what that's all about. But I've played in them professionally and in college. The best thing that I can do and our staff has been able to do is share our life experience with these guys. And you don't get those moments back. You don't get those games back. It's a privilege to have rivalries. And then it's just about going out there and finding yourself and having fun and playing good basketball. Anything?
Let's give Shawn a big hand. Well, I think you can tell that why I'm excited and the university is excited about our leadership that we have for all of our programs at Northwestern, but with these two new coaches and Coach Dieselhorst and Coach Durden. So I'm very excited. Two people in here that I failed to mention that have been big for us while we've been out of our facility. Coach Duncan and Coach Horn are here from the high school, and Mr. Parkhurst and Mr. Potter and Coach Gale have all been good to allow us to use the high school gym when we have not been there. So thank you to them, and we appreciate that, and we hope to return the favor. Season tickets will be sent out here probably within the next week. I know we got a lot of season ticket holders in here. We're about to get those shipped out, and we'll be there. And we've got a big game this weekend. I hope you can get out to see our football team play, our volleyball plays both games home on Friday and Saturday, so you get a chance to maybe see them. And then we got a big game with Harding coming up, and then our final game going down and beating that team down south on the 12th. So we've just got a lot of things, but I want to say thank you again. I think both coaches have echoed the community of Alva does so much for Northwestern and makes it what it is. It makes it easy to recruit to. It makes it easy to have our players here. We've got a great group of young people in our men's and women's team, and all of Northwestern Oklahoma, the communities around make it what it is. And I just want to say a big thank you. Thank you to both these coaches for the leadership they're providing, and we look forward to a big year. Ride, Rangers, ride.